YouTube.
About to go live. 3, 2, 1, going live.
I want to see how much the delay is. We're waiting.
The delay is always horrible.
Oh, it's amazing sometimes. We'll see where it is at the moment. I still. Oh, there we go. We're live.
3, 2, 1.
Holy shit.
My volume off. There we go. Volume is off.
Oh, who's giving feedback?
Good evening, all.
All right.
Yeah. What's up?
Hi, dudes.
Yeah, I haven't talked to either one of you hardly at all this week.
Well, I know it's been a busy week.
My back is
What are we
still
on today?
fucked up.
Thursday, isn't it? Yeah, it's been a crazy fucking week.
Your back's still fucked up.
What'd you do? Do I want to know? Do I even?
All right. All right. So if you've messed up your back before, you know that the first time I did it, I was doing something manly. I felt pretty good about it. I was lifting weights with my son. He was getting ready for football season, and I used to lift a lot of weights back then, and I was doing a deadlift, and the bar came off. When you do a deadlift, you basically just want to scrape your shins, right?
Yeah.
And you want to keep it tight.
Yep.
And I came off my shin, and I only had one rep left in that set, and yeah, that was it. Just felt like a sack of potatoes.
To the legs. Yeah. Ow.
Yeah. And then the second time I did it, I was picking up an empty cardboard box in the garage. And so this third time I did it, I was down in Mexico. It was Sunday, the day before we were leaving. And I'm not proud to say it, man. I was getting off the toilet.
Oh no. Did you just twist funny?
You never know. I mean, it just goes. And so it's been, I don't know, 5 days, 4 days. It's better today, but my wife she's pissed at me because, we had the tree fall down on the power line this morning.
Yeah, you were saying about that.
So I was out cutting. My back is still fucked up, but I was cutting tree branches. And so she's like, what the hell are you? I mean, she laid into me in front of these two electrician guys. I'm like, come on, cut me some slack. So whatever. It's my life.
I had last time I put my back out, it was because, again, same thing like you, training, but it was with a medicine ball, and I was doing side to side with a medicine ball, and I went too far, and literally the following morning I was on lidocaine patches. I had lidocaine patches on my back because I just couldn't move.
Yeah, I have lidocaine patches now. Yeah, it'll be all right.
None of my stories are that good. God, all I did was get a bad Lyme and spend my day on a toilet.
I know. That was a rough day, man. I was there.
I had no clue who the hell that was. I hate when you send the picture of like whoever. Well, the Wajima. I'm like
Montezuma. I sent you a picture of Montezuma.
I had no clue. I'm like, is it a deity thing? Have you like decided to go in a different direction? Have you like? I mean, are we? Is this like? I had no bloody clue what the hell was going on.
Well, for a while there, neither did I. It was pretty bad. But I beat it, and it turns out if you just take enough Pepto, it's all gravy. It will eventually solve everything.
So Ryan, this was the first time I think you and I had. Well, okay, no, this is
it's not the first time we vacation. I think it's the third time.
Okay, and there's always something, right, with me.
Yeah, always.
Yep.
And with me, I got my own from that one.
Yeah, so
like breaking into the place.
Yeah, that was fun. We were on the roof pulling mangoes off the mango tree.
That was a good time.
Watching the turtles having sex in the bay.
That was okay. So my favorite part of that was that the male turtle. So I look out, so that we're in the boat on the ocean, and the guy, he all of a sudden the boat stops. And of course, at this point in the trip, and if we get to the dive story, I'll understand more context. But at this point in the trip, I'm like, what the fuck now? so then he's like, look at the sea turtles. They're mating. And we look over, and all I see is the male sea turtle head first going.
And the female did not look like she was enjoying it.
Not
She
at
just
all. And she like looked
she's just laying there.
like putting up with it. Like, seriously, I gotta deal with this right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was it was a blast though. And Chris, as soon as you can, we need to get you down there. That was an absolute blast. If you go driving with Evan, just make sure your life insurance is up to date.
Got it. I'm
But
not
it's
good.
fun.
I'm
It's
not
fun.
good as a passenger. I'm a
I
terrible.
know that's my problem too, because I'm like, this is how I totally would drive this road, but I'm in the
Yep.
back seat, so I don't like it.
Oh, yeah, no,
Th-
I'm
that
not good.
road, that road is so much fun.
I bet for a passenger, not as much.
So Marlis, we found motorcycles down there too, and Marlis, my wife, she swears up and down I'm not getting one. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know I'm getting one. I'm getting not only one, I'm gonna get like 3 so I can ride with my buddies.
So did you get it all sorted out? Is that all done, dusted, sorted, squared away?
Not yet. I mean, everything is. We're just waiting for the government to finish their pieces of it.
Got it. So it's getting
Uh,
there, it's getting all sorted and everything else. Oh, fantastic. I'm really pleased for you guys. That makes me, I'm
Thanks.
really, really happy for you.
Well, it's going to be our hangout, and I do expect you and others, people on the shit show. I mean, I got this big place because I want to share it, not because I want to have a big place. I could give two
Right.
shits about having a big place. So I expect people to be there.
Yeah, it could be fun. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
The further I get from doing the stuff I've been doing, the better chance I'll have of being able to get down there. We'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'd have so much fun, man.
Yeah, that'll be good. Oh, I'm beat as well from the drive across country. That was long drive. Long drive.
I love how you chronicled it for us too, because
Oh my
it was
God.
fun to watch, man. It was almost like you were there, so it was cool.
Yeah, I had some fun doing that. It was actually kind of fun doing it. It was it's like anything. I had a couple of people like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't tell people that you're away while you're away. And I'm like, you know what, screw you. Feel free to break into the house because A,
Yep.
there are contractors there. B, I've got people watching it, and C, it's booby trapped. I mean, fucking enjoy yourself. If
I
you
don't know.
get
You
anything
sent me
out
a
of it,
picture.
Hmm?
Were there You sent me a picture. Were there contractors there?
Not as often as they should have been. Fuck's sakes. So the main level toilet is actually still sitting outside of the front porch.
Good.
The fridge in the bar area on the main level won't fit back in. They need to work on that. The washer and dryer we got back in last night. The grout is the wrong color. It doesn't match what's in the kitchen. The tile grout itself needs some love. I can bring a list along if you want. It's
Do you have them retiling or do you have them like refurbishing?
So when we moved in, I think after 1 year or year and a half, we changed the kitchen. And by changing the kitchen, I mean we like stripped everything in that entire kitchen down to bare bones. And we retiled. Jen found this amazing, like really cool Italian, just beautiful tile, like really, really cool tile. And so we bought enough to not just do the kitchen, but do the kitchen, the hallway, basically the rest of the main level that we didn't rewood or whatever else. And so the idea was we were going away for 2 weeks, basically driving for X number of days, away for a few days at the house, at the lake, and then driving back. In those 2 weeks, they were meant to get the shit together. And for about 1 week of that, they didn't get the shit together. And for 1 week of that, they kind of got the shit together-ish. And so, yeah, we came back to stuff that wasn't quite where it was meant to be or expected to be or any of those other things. So it's life. It is what it is. We're back. And now it's a matter of, kind of cracking the whip to some degree to get shit done.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. I mean, in their defense, when they took up the tile in the rest of the area, they had to take the subflooring up as well because apparently that was a shit show and glued down and
Oh, you mean done right? It was done right.
Yeah, they had to do it right. I mean, they assume, there was an assumption that the actual subfloor would be okay. It wasn't. It was particle board, so that had to come up. And then the floor beneath the subfloor was a shit show. So they got hold of us and we're like, no, do it properly, do it right, do it correctly, and it is what it is. So yeah, it's life.
That happens.
All right. So Rachel just asked if I got the gift. So I got to show you guys. I got this gift from Rachel's husband. Sent it to me by mail, and now I got to show you guys. And I took a couple pictures of it. So give me a minute while I get this up.
Cool.
You guys probably don't want to walk away at this point. I have a feeling I know what this gift is.
I'm intrigued to see what this is.
Do you think you know what it is?
I have a feeling. I'm a very intuition tuned guy.
I'm
So
intrigued to see what it is. By the way, Rachel is doing some self-promotion on YouTube with the coffee table talks. Is now Rachel. I see how this goes.
yes,
I see how this goes. Using our channel to self-promote. That's okay. We'll have
Why
a
not?
conversation with her.
Why not? Promote the shit out of it.
absolutely. Promote away.
She wants.
Just send them your way. Don't send them to me.
Oh gosh, she wants me down in freaking Phoenix or wherever the hell it is at some point in time in October for one of the talks or something. So we're trying to figure that one out.
Phoenix.
Is that where it is?
Where
I have no clue. Somewhere.
All right, damn it. I'm trying to find. All right, I got the wrong damn mail app. Hold on. I emailed them to myself, and sometimes the iPad doesn't want
Oh,
me to put
Vegas.
things right.
Just while you're sorting that out, somebody asked about hops and hacks or hops and hacks and hops.
Yeah.
I might actually be going out to Vegas for like 48 hours. Tinkerers, the group I'm part of, we're doing like a couple of things out there. So I might actually be heading out to DEF CON and Black Hat-ish for like 48 hours or 72 hours, but we'll see how it goes. Depends.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna show you. Share my screen. Can I do that? Do I have access?
I
You
think
should
so.
have,
You
yeah.
well, you do you need access? You were
No, I
make
got it.
you host.
It's the 1 year anniversary. Oh gosh. Okay. Yes, I know something like that. Evan
All right,
is
so
showing us. What the hell is it?
You ready?
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. That is awesome. That's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, that's good.
so cool.
That's good.
That's
That's
one of them,
good.
and then there's the front side of it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
My peoples are back. You have to show the backside again. There you go.
That is totally cool.
Kate.
Oh, that's a perfect shirt. Wow.
That is
Can
fantastic.
someone send me a copy of that?
STUFR. Yeah, I like that one. We might have to
I
get.
will- I
we
will
might
make
have
a-
to
My
get-
wife would like to buy
I
one,
would-
so
I
if you
would
still
like
have the
to
design.
money to buy one of those.
Yeah, my wife would like to probably buy two.
Your friends would like several.
My friends
Yeah.
apparently wants them as well.
So he also sent me a cup. And it's a plastic cup, and it says STFUR on it.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's absolutely freaking brilliant.
So I was going to wear that for you. I actually brought it with me to Mexico, but we didn't have the show. So, and I'm actually wearing it now.
Well, good.
I will apologize.
I like
for
it.
I'll apologize for the Mexico week.
Wait,
That
it's over
was,
here.
yeah, I'll take the hit for that one. That was I just,
And Ross was like, "Are you sure you want to wear that? Is he going to get offended?" I'm like, "No, he can tell me." To shut
God,
the fuck up,
no.
too."
Look, it's real simple with me, guys. The things that you would do to offend me are the same things you would do that would end your existence on this planet. So you're probably in a pretty safe zone. Stay away from my wife, stay away from my kid. Try your best not to be the reason why my day isn't going well, and we'll get along fine.
Works for me.
we need that shirt up on the security shit show, the shirt, the cafe press or whatever the hell we have.
Yeah,
I like it. Do
so
it.
we have a store, right? We should.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a store, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know
Fuck
what
it.
it is.
Shirt on there.
Yeah, tell me share access to that if you can, Chris, and
I'll figure it out.
Because we can all make some cool shit.
God, I've had 2 gin and tonics and
I take it as a compliment.
I'm wasted.
Nice.
I'm-
Enjoy it.
Oh, I was pissed today. Today has not been a good day. It's not been a bad day. Let me rephrase that.
It's been a hard day. It's not been a bad day. It's been a hard day.
I have some 40 milligram Percocet pills that I haven't taken.
Ooh,
Good
yeah, no, it's not been
Jesus
one of those days.
Lord.
It's not been one of those days.
40? Yikes.
It's just been
Is he frozen or is this just him like holding really, really, really still?
I think he's
Too much Percocet.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh dear. It's good to catch up. It's good to see.
Are you
guys.
eating more ribs, Charlie?
Charlie, what the fuck? Share the ribs.
Share the ribs.
I kind of want
I
a rib.
swear I'm getting on a fucking
Okay,
plane right
so Kate's husband, Doug,
Turn the
amazing
backdrop
guy,
off so we
okay?
can see. Turn the backdrop off.
he actually knows how to make a proper rack of ribs.
Ooh.
And so when we arrived, we had smoked delicious ribs, some smoked chicken, some corn on the cob, some mashed potatoes. It's very nice.
Nice.
Very good. And
Oh,
Evan, you
teaspoon.
know I'm
Not
picky about my
half-baked
ribs.
teaspoon.
These were good ribs.
It's
That's nice.
teaspoon. Hang on.
I like ribs. Bacon. Do you have bacon?
No, unfortunately, I did not. However, I have been debating if there's a way to infuse bacon into ribs.
So we have a
Like
hillbilly.
where you go-
See-
I like where you're going with this, Ryan.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. The man brings me, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I can't see
Turn
it. so-
your bloody backdrop off so we can see what's going on.
All right. Turn it off. Hold on. Here we go. All right.
There we
I
go.
have. Look at this.
Ooh.
Look at that. Huh?
Yeah.
not-
Okay, those look good. Those look good.
Right. Explain the taste in detail while I close my eyes and think.
So I can do this, but I'm afraid that Jesse will make some kind of comment about my elaboration on the.
Yeah, Jesse. Yeah, he doesn't like. He's a man of few
Jesse
words.
doesn't like when you explain stuff colorfully when you're talking about flavors. I tried it once; it didn't go well.
Well, here, explain it colorfully in flavors in a British accent. See how he likes that.
Oh,
Oh,
speaking of which, I'm in Civil War Town, Chris. So I'm gonna go find some of your cohorts.
Cohorts.
Where the hell are you? Are you in Gettysburg or something?
Now, Gettysburg would be Civil War.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true. Hang on, which war are you on about? The uppity
I don't know.
one?
there's got to be some dead British around here somewhere. I'm in
Are you
Virginia.
in Philadelphia,
I was
What
in
the hell?
Plymouth. I was up in Plymouth
Virginia?
last week, and
I'm
in
in Virginia.
Oh, you're in that neck of the-
Virginia.
Yeah,
I'm in
up
Virginia.
Virginia.
I'm in Virginia, riding a canoe
I
down
feel
the
like
river.
Fred Flintstone. Look at this thing. Delicious.
Got out of my pickup truck and having some barbecue in Virginia.
I'm gonna see if I can make a cousin wedding this weekend.
There was revolutionary wars in Virginia, and the English Civil War and Virginia Civil War.
I need a
16
knife, man. I can't
You
eat all
guys
this
look,
like this.
there's a bunch of wars in the neck of the woods. Just there's no set and put it. Just find the
look at
moonshine
that.
and drink.
You're a
There
blessing.
you go.
Evan,
If you wouldn't
you
let-
will really like Doug. You're gonna like Doug.
I like most people, man, except for the people I find online.
Well, isn't that true for all of us?
There are
I was
some.
just talking to the electrician today about security, you know, and I said, all that shit you got in your house, just throw it away. Stop it. But anyway, we were talking, and he got onto like, why does everybody who's on social media feel like they got balls like this big? But then when you meet them in
can't
person,
punch them in the face.
when you meet them in person, they got balls like that. I said,
Yep.
well, that's the world we live in, man.
Nope, I call it the punch factor. if you're close enough to where I can hit you, you pay attention to what is coming out of your mouth.
That's true. Very true. So I
It's
told you what
old.
I've been doing for entertainment lately.
That's good. Yes, you
I-
have, and I found it quite entertaining.
It's so much fun, man. It's yeah, so people don't know, it's I set up 2 more Twitter accounts. One that's got the profile picture is Biden's profile picture or Biden's picture, and then I go and troll the far right people. And then I do the same thing with the other way around. Have a profile picture of Trump and go troll the far left people. And it's fun because I'm only using facts, right? They spew this bullshit, and then you throw some facts at them, and they're like, "Hey, what fucking side are you on?" I'm like, "You wouldn't understand, brother, because you're not using your fucking brain." But it's a lot of fun. That's what I did last night. I don't watch TV, so I just do shit like that.
I like it.
It's my life.
I like it.
When I can't say what I really want to say with my own account, so I'll just use
Right.
others.
That's a good idea. Sock puppets are definitely helpful. So, Chris, tonight
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about how you're not special anymore if you get hit.
It's that, and I gotta be honest, I just don't care.
I'm getting there myself.
I just don't care. I mean, I'm seriously. I mean, somebody hit me up the other day, today as well. I mean, the internet, got a hit today, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's." A very nice friend of mine was like, "Oh, it's bad things." I'm like, "No, it's not. It was just DNS, and I'll figure it out." And I'm like, I just.
Oh yeah,
don't care.
911's down because shared service provider.
Well, shit. And then, somebody's like, "Oh, the latest breach is taking down X amount of thousands." I'm like, who gives a shit? Seriously, at this point, who cares? Oh, I got breached. I just don't care.
Let me ask you this. Do you give a shit if the guy who holds an M80 in his hands and closes his hands around it and it goes off and he blows his fingers off? Do you care?
No.
I don't, because
Nope.
What are you doing holding an M80 in your hands with your fists closed?
Right.
See, I'm one of those weirdos that I actually do still care. I have empathy.
I don't like that they get hurt. Wait,
Yeah.
let's clarify.
Okay, we'll go with that
Let's
one. Yeah,
clarify.
we'll go with that one.
I don't like that they get hurt, but I'm not empathetic nor sympathetic to them putting themselves in a dangerous situation. I still feel for them as a human who cares that they are experiencing discomfort and displeasure, but I have no empathy nor sympathy for the gross negligence that led to their situation.
To me,
No,
okay, so to
stupidity
me,
is stupidity, but hopefully they learn their fucking lesson.
to me, it's a little different. This is, to me, I think it's so this is the reason the reason for the thought this evening is I get hit up on a regular basis. I either get somebody tags me or somebody hits me up and goes, "Oh my gosh, did you hear about the latest breach?" Nope. Did you hear about so-and-so got broken into? Yeah. Did you hear that so-and-so got broken into? No. I don't care anymore. I just don't care that everybody's getting broken into, because welcome to a new reality. Now, I care about the implications for the individuals whose data is compromised, because it sucks and it frustrates the hell out of me that they have little to no control. Arguably, they have little to no control over their own destiny in the digital world. But the fact that, X company or Y company or A company or B company gets broken into, I just don't care anymore. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, shit happens. Get over it. Something's going to happen to you. And if you're surprised, you're a fool. If you sit there and if you're sitting there and you're surprised that somebody broke into you, you're a fool. You should expect it and act accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I guess it depends on who's, if the company is, coming and wanting some sympathy or wanting whatever, I
Yeah.
don't necessarily care about that. But the thing I do care about is, we need to hold these fuckers accountable. I mean, you keep giving an inch. Next thing you know, they're right up in your business. I mean, we're losing this battle.
Oh, we've lost the battle. We've lost 22.5 million records globally every single day are breached, are exposed, are taken, are used, abused, and whatever else. 22.5 million a day. That's almost 1 million an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, everybody's data's gone.
and I think that's my thing. I've gotten to the point where I have no empathy, sympathy left. You don't have any excuse left now for telling me you weren't aware. You don't have any excuse left to me now for going, oh, I didn't think, I didn't know. What you have is shit, I did this, and this, and it got me over here. You know what? At that point, I actually cared because at least you realize that you're going to be a target.
Yeah, so you and I are on the same page then on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't taken like just reasonable steps, to protect yourself, then yeah.
I mean,
bend
okay,
over and take it.
think about, okay, so to me, I look at this as a human thing. I walk down the street, I walk down any street, any mainstream city street. Let's just caveat that one. Any mainstream city street. If you've left your front door unlocked, I have no sympathy for you.
So this is a great point. So some insurance policies, like auto insurance policies, if you leave your keys in the car and your car gets stolen, they don't cover the car.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the same thing needs to apply. And Ryan, you and I were talking, maybe we talked about it on the shit show too. I think you need to start making it illegal to insure ransomware.
Yep.
I mean, you can pay it out of your own pocket if you want to, but why would we insure that?
So this is where if you've, again, so here's the thing. If you have taken precautions, let's face it, you and I mean, we all know this. You can take the best precautions possible, but somebody still has the potential to break in. If you have locked your doors, if you have an alarm, if you have got the dog, if you have put your stuff in the safe and shit still happens, somebody has targeted you enough that they basically lifted everything from you. You know what? Now I'll pay out your insurance. I'll spend time with you and I'll do things because
with ransomware, it's almost 100% guaranteed that you can recover your data.
If you've taken the basic precautions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's rare to have that in any other part of our business, right? To have like almost 100% certainty.
Yeah.
And so if you have almost 100% certainty of, and the basic precautions are so freaking easy. Back up your shit, get your backups offline, right? We've been doing that for years anyway, until we went, to make it more convenient and, fucking online backups. But
I mean, we
why
did
do we cover that?
We did it up to 10 years ago, and then the cloud took over, and now we don't do it anymore. We don't, I mean.
Yeah, and look what happened. Remember, convenience has consequence. Convenience always has consequence.
Right.
And the consequence of the convenience of going to the cloud is that it's, easily ransomed. I can ransom your cloud. I can ransom your immutable backup. Make no mistake, immutable means non-editable. It does not mean I cannot overwrite when you poorly configure it and allow for storage overwrite because you're trying to save money on disk space. Yeah. Right? So this goes back to something I've said a few times, and I was actually thinking about this today on the plane. I was doing some work around this. So one of our shared connections reached out to me and said, hey, we're working on a thing for some folks, and this hasn't been done before. That's, would you mind taking a look and seeing if you see an angle different than what we're running into? So I looked at it and I realized and I've said this on the show before, you just need to add a bullet point to this and a bullet point to this and a bullet point to this. You already have all the words that say you need to show the due care, you need to show the due diligence, you need to test it for safety and effectiveness and functionality, and all that language is already wrote, but it was wrote in a physical context.
Right.
I need you to add a bullet point that says that cyber. So in addition to running the servo 100 million times under stressful conditions to make sure that it opens and closes as expected, I also need you to scan the code that's going into it. I need you to have the appropriate choke points for updating that code. Because guys, this isn't hard. I just told somebody the other day, you want the cheapest way to detect something funny in your environment? They said, yeah. I said, turn on pwned.
Yeah.
Set threshold for high CPU, high disk, high network, high mem use on off-peak hours.
Yep.
There's a ghetto sim ready to go.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, man.
You know what I mean?
95
Like, that's a redneck sim right there.
95% of all this shit is basic shit. Just basic shit.
Turn on fucking perfmon and understand the data you see. It'll tell you a lot about what's happening in your environment.
Most people don't even know what they have in their environment, though.
Well, I know.
You know what I mean?
Go back to this. Well, I was talking to somebody the other day about the walk back to the fundamentals. I'm going to do a talk on this at some point called the walk back to the fundamentals, because it's time to walk back to them. We've walked so far down this road, so far. It was like when we were in Mexico. We went down a road in Mexico, Chris. And at a certain point, there was a collective understanding that this road, we really shouldn't go any farther. We have exceeded the threshold of what makes sense for who we are, where we are, what we're trying to do.
For the record, I wanted to go farther.
For the record,
That
I
doesn't
also
surprise
wanted
me.
to go a little bit further, but I preferred if we had had firearms at that point.
I
So
was just gonna say, did you have firearms on you? Because at
No.
that point, then you've got a little bit more flexibility.
right. So for me, we reached I'd like to be armed. That's a gun port. This place looks like a military installation, and it's not. So you know.
Yeah. And then the problem is you need good firearms. You need the firearms that out firearms what you consider.
Yeah,
as
and
good
I don't
as-
have that kind of resources. I need to
Yeah.
call you and get a satellite realigned or something.
And I got you covered.
Here's what it is. Broken glass lined the top of the walls.
Yeah, you need good firearms at that point. Like good.
You know you're in a rough part of town if they're using broken glass instead of razor wire. So
It's Mexico, man. Come on.
yeah, and we were
I
there,
don't
and guess
care.
what? Our
Good
house
firearms.
in Mexico protected by razor wire
Yeah.
and sheer cliffs.
Yeah, that's true.
At that point, you don't need firearms. You need heat seekers.
But here's
You know.
the illogical shit that people do, right? I posted earlier today. 35% or more of people will click on links that they know are malicious. They know it, and they still click it. Why the fuck do they do that?
Oh, it's
Because they
red
wanna
button.
find out.
I was just Charlie. Come here, Charlie.
Oh.
Charlie's gonna make an appearance on the show because we're gonna talk about the concept of the red button. Because Evan, you just touched on a human nature thing.
It's totally a human nature thing. You see a button that says "Don't touch this," people want to fucking touch
Oh
it.
God, you're gonna do this to it. You're gonna do
Yeah,
this to it
of
until
course
you
you are.
figure out what the fuck it does.
Yeah, of course
So
you are.
would you reduce that number if, let's say, you've got 100 people in a room and 35 of them would hit that button. The first guy goes over, hits the button, gets obliterated. Would the next 34 still do it? Or
Nope.
would they say, right? So somebody's got to pay a fucking price, and then you wouldn't.
Yeah,
have-
but to your point, if you think about what the fuck is the study? Some study from like the 50s, where people were doing that, except they were doing a simulation where some were jailers and some were jailees, and
Oh, Stanford experiment.
not the
Stanford
Stanford
experiment, yeah,
one.
that's a
I don't
good
know if
one,
it's that
not a
one, but
bad
there was
one.
one where they could administer shock
Yeah,
to
Stanford.
a different person, and the conductors of the experiment were saying, okay, we've reached a point where this is now lethal, and people would still press the goddamn button
Yep.
because
But-
they weren't
but-
experiencing it.
But it wasn't, it wasn't lethal to them. But I'm
Right,
saying
right.
if I click this link, 35% today click the link because they know what's the worst case.
Right.
Not anything bad. I'll get my shit back or something, somebody will
Right.
bail me out. But if you click that button and I take all your money and you never get it back, the bank never gives it back to you. And word starts to spread that shit happens. I'm guessing we'd probably take that 35% down to maybe 10. I mean, you're never gonna get to zero. 'Cause you
Right.
just
I
have
would-
spread.
I'm pessimistic. I would say that it's not going to have nearly as much impact as that what you think, because natural default condition in people's minds is it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing though is the 35%, I don't have to pay for their shit anymore.
Yep.
Because the way it works today, you click that button and you get bailed out. The money, the bank gives you your money back, and now the bank raises fees, and we all pay more for it.
True.
So, I mean, and I think that's a lot of you take that same kind of thing to breaches. If more companies went out of business because they didn't follow the basics of information security, society would be better off for it.
Yeah, I won't argue that.
And it's cruel. I do the same thing with my kids. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, if you're gonna make shitty choices, you're gonna be in a shitty
Yeah.
spot. They're not bailing you out. Sorry.
Play shitty games, win shitty prizes.
Yeah. And I would love for our industry to do a little bit more of that.
To your point, I think that's where you have to get the insurers on board, because as long as the insurers are going to bail people out, it doesn't have an impact, not to the people that should be learning the lesson.
Yeah, totally true. Yeah, I had a good talk today with the state CISO for Washington. The guy's name is Vinod. And we were talking about, this S2Me, our tool, giving to their state citizens for free. And he said, the sad thing is none of them will do it.
Right.
I said, why won't they do it? It's because they won't take the time. It's like, fuck, you won't take the time to protect yourself.
Yeah.
That's, sadly, that's the world we live in. I had another conversation today too that was kind of eye-opening. It was, yesterday I gave a talk, incident response, right? And so I'm giving this talk, it's to a big nonprofit thing with a whole bunch of big nonprofits, right? Like 40 CISOs from big nonprofits were in this meeting. And I explained to them the logic, right? Simple logic, from what is information security, it's risk management, risk elimination is impossible. Therefore, we must live with some risk. Therefore, you will have a breach. It's inevitable, period. End of discussion. So if you know something is inevitable, yet you haven't planned for it, how responsible are you as an organization? Because we talk about due care and due diligence, right? What would a prudent person do in a similar situation? So if I know that something is a certainty, yet I haven't planned for it, how prudent am I? Right? So we played that out, and they all had their videos on, so I could see them, which was awesome. It was a great talk when I can do that. And they're all like, yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious we need to have an incident response plan. So then I said, why is it statistically 63% of you don't have one?
Mm-hmm.
You're all nodding your heads to me. You're all saying, yes, I get it. We got to have it. That's logical. Makes perfect sense. Yet what the fuck are you doing?
And
It
so
doesn't make any fucking sense.
This goes back to the topic.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I don't care if you get breached. I just don't. I don't have anything left to give. I care about the very people that you've screwed over. I care about the people that you've forgotten to protect. I have empathy for them, and it frustrates the hell out of me that you don't show any respect for them. But you yourself coming and crying to me, I just don't care anymore. It's
Right.
an everyday occurrence. Welcome to reality. Welcome to the new world. Plan accordingly. Your ass is going to get handed to you on a silver platter at some time, whether you like it or not. Fucking plan accordingly.
But
Yeah.
but the part that I do care about is I pay the price.
Yes.
I am prudent. I do take reasonable steps. I do want
Right.
protect myself. And so I pay higher prices in insurance premiums. I pay higher
Yeah.
prices in bank fees,
Yep.
all this shit because of you, not you, but them. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
totally. Yeah, and that's what sucks. And until market forces come to a point, or until something happens that forces something different, that is going to be the case, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
I'll
we've
be
got
right
pivots.
back. Charlie's gonna sit in for me for a second. I gotta use the
Okay.
bathroom.
Awesome. And then obviously, Chris, we've got pivots, right? We've got
Yeah.
people, regardless of how, I don't know, what's the word? Paranoid I am.
Mm-hmm.
I still, to be a human being, I still have trust, some
Yeah.
inherent trust, right? I walk down the street, I'm not shooting everybody right away. They're just like, I trust that you're not going to shoot me, so I'm not going to shoot you, but so I'm connected to things.
You
Go
have
ahead.
a plan. Unless I'm missing something, you're not much different than I am. You plan. It's the way Hillbilly Hit Squad's motto. Be polite, be professional, and have a plan to kill everybody you meet. That's our motto.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we work. I will be nice to you. I'll be civilized to you, but do not ever think that I don't have a plan to deal with you should things change.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean it ever gets enacted. It just means that basically I will assume the best, but I will plan for the worst.
Yeah.
We don't do that as in the digital world. We don't do that. We don't assume good intentions, but still plan or even have a safety net for the worst.
No, that's very true, man. That's
It's reasonable to understand, I think, from a layperson's perspective. You think about the fact that average person has been online, maybe if they're old enough, they've maybe been online 20-ish years, maybe 25, right? There's still a sizable portion of the population throughout the world, those that are lucky enough to be online, that is, that didn't grow up with this, right? And they didn't grow up thinking about unlocked door, physical unlocked door equals physical or virtual unlocked doors. And what does the hell does that even mean, right? There's nothing in like this in K through 12, even college.
Yeah.
Thinking about the your CISO example, 63%, they don't really have a system to address and a plan to address. They got to march whatever they have up the hill. And as long as they're the only fucking chicken that's squawking, the people they have to march it up the hill against, they most likely got their MBA and they didn't hear shit about this in the MBA school. So what the fuck do they care? Spending money on this is going to increase their capital expense. And that's going to decrease the amount of money that they get to take home in their value per EPS, their value per share.
Unless you can argue that what we do isn't a cost center, it's a benefit, at which point in time you can turn around and have that conversation about, hey, we can potentially increase uptime. We can potentially understand vendor supply chain management and increase reliability. We have the ability, should we be able to actually demonstrate it to people, to say, hey, we got our shit together. I mean, we're doing the same thing with Dave.
Yeah.
We had an interesting conversation with one of the suppliers today who was like, hey, you know what? We love to put Dave in a few different places, but where does it come from? Who does the coding? Who does this? Who does this? And how can you guarantee that it's not going to backdoor itself to China? Well, here's what we do to ensure the integrity.
Right.
It's stuff like that, that unless that stuff is done, the assumption is.
yeah. Well, look at the shortcut, easy button, fucked up way that we went about this in our industry. We went about it with the compliance route, right? We went about it with, thou shalt do these things, instead of, if you don't do these things, you don't survive.
Right.
Right.
And so I think we have to shift the way we go about. Compliance is bullshit. It never worked because people do the letter of the law, not the intent.
Letter spirit. Yeah. To me, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, I mean, it's like, and Jeff Mann, I love Jeff. They run, the Hack Naked stuff. The spirit of PCI is great. I love the spirit of it. If it was actually held to the spirit, But exactly to your point, people go to the left of the fucking law as opposed to, hey, this is what we really actually want to do.
Well, now hold on.
Well,
I got
well,
you.
look at
I
the
got
way,
you.
look at
I
the
got
way
you.
human
It's a
beings
bullet
work.
point.
Yeah.
Well, look at the way human beings work, right? When you
Yep.
tell somebody what to do versus
Yeah.
them wanting to do.
Yeah, but
what
they do it. Hold on.
No, not
Just pause.
necessarily.
Pause. Yes, necessarily. I just got done sitting on a plane reading hundreds of pages of a guideline that if you want to create certain systems to do certain things, you must follow a stringent set of guidelines. Or fuck you, you can't sell your thing. It's not accepted. It's not allowed to be used. I advocate that we simply add an addendum to the existing safety structure, to the existing manufacturing process, to all these things we've already exhausted ourselves as human beings figuring out, documenting, and say, you must do this because if you don't do this, it's so inherently dangerous that it causes a problem. Your shitty security is fucking up my economic stability. I'm not okay with that. Time to stop that.
Yeah, but Evan, to your point, by approaching it from the compliance angle, you're gonna get a certain subset of people, which I'd say is quite sizable, that's gonna go say, fuck you, I'm powerful enough, I know the right people, I'll get the laws changed.
Right. And that's why compliance doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because compliance only works by who's in control.
Yeah.
So even, all these detailed, stringent controls, Ryan, that you talk about, some of those might be security related. Some of those might not be. Security's never been a one size fits all solution.
Right.
So for me to have to follow your stringent, and that's why compliance never worked. I
But
can't get that
stringent from
prescriptive.
safety though, but from a safety perspective, because if there was a manufacturer producing a car today that was inherently unsafe, it would be
Tesla?
pulled off market. When vehicles are defective, recalls happen,
Sometimes.
right? Not
Yes.
agreed.
Well-
There's no perfection. There's no let's just be
Tesla
perfectly
has
clear.
been very
There's no
very
perfection.
vocal in the fact that you as the driver should be inherently cautious using their systems.
Yeah.
I'll find the exact word. This is a major manufacturer of vehicles that's basically said, hey, you're the fucking guinea pigs, and yet they're still able to produce cars.
Well, and
Yes,
and
because
we
they
covered-
informed you. If
we covered
you
that in the
cannot be
unsecurity
stupid.
podcast.
You
We covered that in the
cannot be
unsecurity
stupid.
podcast. Dude, we covered this in the unsecurity podcast this week too, we actually read through Amazon's terms of use.
Oof.
And if you read it, the things that you're agreeing to are like, holy fuck. But the thing is, you have no choice, right? Try not agreeing to Microsoft's terms of use and trying to do business in America or the world. I mean,
good luck.
I think you just have to, I don't know, man. I get the compliance thing. You do have to have
All right.
certain rules, but you also have to have consequences if you don't follow the rules. Like take HIPAA, for instance. How many breaches were there last year in healthcare? Fuck, I don't know, 1,200 more that we know about. And what happened? What are the consequences? OCR is so far up their ass in doing their investigations of breaches. They're like 5 years behind. There's no consequence. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
They would give a shit if the hospital, your community hospital is no longer there because they didn't follow proper fucking protocols. Now the community takes notice, like, where the fuck's our hospital?
Well, and I
We
think
need
we're
a fucking
getting there.
hospital.
I think we're getting there. I think I suspect that this upcoming holiday, we will see something quite entertaining. I believe, given the pattern of the last couple of major events, that Labor Day. I think Labor Day weekend, you're going to see somebody get just freaking hammered. Or you're going to see a whole bunch of IT people be forced to work the weekend because businesses are worried they're going to get hammered and then nothing happens. But they hit us on the 4th of July. They hit us on Memorial Day. Why wouldn't they continue that pattern if we're going to be, you know, short staffed for a holiday weekend? I mean,
Well, that's
come on,
another thing.
guys. If you're the
On
bad
a
guy,
glo-
when are you doing it?
Well, that's another thing. Like on a global scale, where's the fucking accountability? You keep
There is
picking
no
us off.
accountability.
Exactly. I
I'm
mean,
gonna forward it to you
okay.
guys, and one of you can put it up on one of you can put it up on the messaging system.
I mean, if you attacked my family, I would unleash holy hell upon you to the point of my own death. Right? But we don't unleash any kind of holy hell, at least that not that I know of. I don't know what our reactions are, but in detail, I know
Well,
some things.
supposedly we're, you know, if you listen to the hype out of Washington, you know, we're going to do something here now. We're going to do something about this.
Yeah.
It never happens.
You just wait.
Yeah,
There's some
we're
shit
going to
coming.
put more red tape in place, and we're going to put more protocol. I mean, okay, so we go back to compliance, we go back to regulation, we go back to everything else. How many freaking regulations, compliance, and actual variations of all of the above that we have? 15, 20, 25? How do I know
You know, we
which
need
ones to
another
fucking follow?
framework.
Hmm?
We need another framework.
No shit. Yeah, we've only got 20. Let's have another. Let's have the 21st one. I mean, seriously, get the fuck out of here. I mean, good God. How the. I mean, I'm sorry. If I'm a CISO inside a company, I don't even know which way to turn, let alone which vendor to trust, let alone where to start with this shit. No wonder we're getting our fucking asses handed to us. We're blinding ourselves with science. We're putting more bullshit in place, and we're putting so many different versions of fucking paperwork that nobody knows what the hell to do.
Well, it's funny, man, because that's the message that's resonating with state CISOs is I'm not selling anything. I want to know what the fuck, you know. So take Washington. He's at 40% staff right now.
Yeah.
So he's trying to protect an entire state, including in the way they were one of the 4 states that, you know, from the National Association of Governors or whatever, was named out as setting the standard for securing the entire state, the whole state, meaning counties, all the agencies, all the counties, all the cities, all the municipalities, getting all that shit sort of together. And he's at 40% capacity. He has no idea what he's trying to protect. I mean, he has an impossible job.
That's just painting a target on his back.
It's impossible. And so I'm like, well, all right, we got to figure this out, man, because we don't just walk away from these things, right? We can't. What are the?
But in essence, we have. In essence, okay. So you go. Okay,
Yeah.
go, Evan. Go back to that stat that you came up with a couple of weeks ago. Well, about a month ago now. 55% of what was it? CEOs.
Yeah,
I mean,
50%.
55% of CEOs at this point in time have said, "Screw it. We're done."
Mhm.
I mean, that's a lot. Okay, I mean, if you take that in the context, 31 million small to medium businesses. That's 15 to 16 million companies have said, "Screw it. There's nothing we can do about it."
Right. And who can blame them? We've created this
Nobody.
environment.
Yeah.
We've created this environment for them. The reason why the state of, and this is just one state because I just had the conversation today. I could go
Right.
on and on about all of them. But, you know, Washington, why are you running at 40%?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because the legislature doesn't give a shit, because the governor doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, call it the way you see it.
Yeah.
If they did give a shit, you would have your staff, you would have your budget, you would have the shit you need to get shit done.
So here's a question. Why don't they care? I mean, you and I, all 3 of us, and a bunch of folks on here, we've all been in front of boards. We've all had conversations with boards, and we've had conversations at a level and at a, you know, collaborative way, communicative way, that the board gets it, understands risk management, understands what to do, how to do, and goes, okay, let's do something about it, or at least let's help to reduce risk. Let's understand the risk. Is it the fact that those folks in those states can't communicate, don't have effective communication, aren't able to communicate? Is it, again, we need to look in the mirror and go, what are we doing wrong? Or is it simply the fact that the states are like, they're playing the odds. They're like, well, fuck it. We haven't been hit so badly yet. Why do we need to worry?
Combo
Right. Well,
platter.
here in the state of Minnesota, they can't even get cyber insurance. Nobody will insure them.
Jeez.
You know, because
That's got to be a telling point to itself.
right. Well, and so I think the way they play it out is, what's the worst case? States don't go out of business, do they? If I'm the state CISO and let's say everything goes to shit, I'll go start it. I'll go
You get held for 50 million ransom. Aramco is currently being held for 50 million ransom as of yesterday or day before. So you get held for ransom. I come after you for 50 million, and I just, no different than the Silk Road 2,500, 3,000 years ago. I pick on a soft target and I just bleed you slowly. I don't take it all at once because then I can only hit you once, but I bleed you slowly. I go hit the E911 system, then I go hit your water system, then I go hit something else, then I go hit the healthcare, then I basically work my way around your systems because you're doing fuck all about it.
Well, that day is coming. I mean, you can see it, the writing on the
Yeah.
wall, right?
Totally.
The states don't know what they're trying to protect. And even if they do, they don't have the staff or the budget to protect them. They're getting pushed, you know, from, I mean, I feel so bad for state CISOs. They have to play the political game. Their hands are tied. They have an impossible job. And then you couple that with the advice that they typically get are things from like Dell or Accenture or E&Y or somebody else, which is, well, you need to do zero trust architecture. You need to protect the endpoint. You need to, you know, sell more shit. So these fuckers have been in state government from the get-go. Why the fuck would you let the state get to this point where you almost have to start over?
Because it's more money. Because now as Accenture or now as somebody else, I can come in, you know, one CISO's left, there's going to be another CISO comes in, you get rid of the operational CISO, you get a tactical CISO that comes in, there's relationships already in place, and now you come and go, oh, let us help you understand the situation. And they sell shit. It's just selling more shit. That's all it is. It's not fixing the damn problem. It's how do I sell you more shit?
Right. And do you remember, Sarbanes-Oxley, right? This came about in, what was it?
15,
99,
20 years ago?
2000. Yeah, it was because we had Enron and we had MCI, WorldCom, and
Hawk and Post. Yep.
Yeah, all these fuckers. And Accenture, they weren't called Accenture then. I can't remember what they were called then, but
yeah,
they were in on all of this, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And it forced them to the point where they had to essentially change names, you know, break up and right. And we had Sarbanes-Oxley about from that. I wonder if at some point something like that happens with us, with security, at least at the, you know, the state level, because I would love to see them be held accountable because the advice they've given is bullshit. And the reason why we're in this shitty position, the reason why you can't make the message, you can't resonate with legislature, with the governor, is because they're fed a bunch of bullshit. Give it to them plain and simple. This is what you look like. You look like shit. I'm holding up a mirror to you right now. What do you see?
The stuff that you did, not that I want to say too much about it because I don't know how much public you've done on it, but the research you did and everything else, are you going to make that more public? Are you going to make it more available?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Yep. Yeah, I'm writing a report
I
now.
want to be careful about what's said because obviously I don't know how wide the conversation's had, but you know, you've done some amazing research and
A delicate dance, but absolutely needs to be public.
okay, cool. Just wanted to double check on that.
And I want to make it repeatable and I want to make it almost like open source community driven. You know, we all should be able to contribute to this because it's a civic duty. This is the country we live in. I love, you know, regardless of all the shit about this country, I love this country. There's no place in the world I would rather live than right here where I'm at. And to see this just kind of unravel, I mean, fuck, we got to fix this shit. At least start somewhere, right? And I think when you talk about breaches and the fact that we don't give a shit about breaches because people aren't doing the basic fundamental shit, they all started from somewhere. They got some shitty advice, or maybe it's not so shitty because what are the consequences anyway? Who can blame the 55% of CEOs who aren't taking security seriously? what's going to happen? What are you going to do to me? I'm making money. I'm making money hand over fist right now. I don't give two shits about your security because what are you going to do? Right. And the
Yeah.
bigger picture is your shitty security affects me, affects your suppliers, affects your partners, affects your customers. It affects everybody. So you don't give a shit because you're still making money. Meanwhile, the victims all throughout this entire ecosystem are all paying the price for it. And at some point, we just got to say, hey, CEO, if you're not going to do these big, give them and meet them where they're at, right? Let's give them two things. Number one, you need to know your attack surface from the internet.
Yeah.
Number two, anything that is externally exposed must be protected with multi-factor authentication. To start with that.
I mean, we've all worked on that assets thing. Just even knowing what the hell you have when you and I've done it. I did it this last week while I was off. I sat down with somebody and I'm like, okay, what do you have? And they're like, well, we have this amount of assets. And then another conversation was like, well, we have this much. Okay. So I've got HR telling me one number, I've got network telling me a number, security telling me another number, and IT tech support telling me another number. That's 4 different numbers. And this isn't a big company, it's a couple hundred folks. 4 different numbers, and you can't agree on what assets you have. You can't go any further forward until you can agree on a number. Because I can't actually help you protect what you don't even know what the fuck you have. And until you even know what you have, we don't even know what the hell to do with it.
Well, from a, and you were in the military, right? I mean,
yeah.
You don't go into battle like how much, not knowing how much ammo you have, not knowing how many guns you have, not knowing,
Yeah.
Like,
there's no fucking guessing games. You don't play games with, and I think maybe this is another one. You hit the nail on the head on this one. In military, you don't play games with people's lives. And in our world, we are playing games with people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
because we don't take it serious.
That shit's got to stop.
Because it's magic.
Because what happens is we can bail you out now, right? We have Regulation E with banking. We can afford to do that now. But what happens in, let's say, I unleash ransomware on all 50 states at the same time.
Wow.
Or I unleash ransomware on, we had that rumor, last year with, I think Alex Holden and whatever, of 438 hospitals getting hit at the same time. That we can't afford. We can't bail that out. I mean, we're fucked.
But I mean, I think we have at some point, why not? Fuck it. Let's just do it.
Well, it's going to happen.
When, and this goes back to my dead body count. Sorry. When are you, and not you guys, but when are you, the regular average person, going to pay attention? Which body do you need to move out of the way in order for you to go, shit, maybe I should pay attention? Is it your kid's body? Is it your parents' body? Is it your guardian's body? Is it your boss's body? Which fucking person do I need to kill for you to fucking pay attention?
Well, I think where we start is let's start culling the herd ourselves, as opposed to, because then we have less to protect from the bad guys. Meaning, so the CEO who makes those shitty decisions, who doesn't take information security seriously, you can't be CEO anymore. You're now banned from, any executive office and any whatever choice you decide to make to hold them accountable. The other CEOs will hear about it. They're like, oh shit, okay, we got to do these things to be, responsible with information assets. And the ones that aren't, they get laid by the wayside. But rather than the way we're going now, it's, that 55%, boom, laid by the wayside.
Yeah, no, I'm
in
with
mass
you.
at one time.
And to me, that's why, to me, I look at myself the same way, again, I'll go back to motorsports. a car has 4 contact patches. Each one of those contact patches is no more than that size. Okay, that's it. That is your entire contact with the planet Earth. With that contact, you have a few things that you can do. You can brake, you can accelerate, you can turn, or any other variation or combination thereof. That's it. And I think for me as a human, I look at my version of this and I've gone, I don't care anymore. I have gotten to the point where I just don't care if you get breached. I care about the humans. And if you actually did some things, if you actually got your shit together and you still got your ass handed to you, you know what? Now I'm going to spend some time with you. Because at least you can meet me halfway. At least you can turn around and say, look, I fucking did something. Whereas how many companies are sitting there going, well, I thought, well, I didn't, well, I should have, well, I could have, well, no, I'm done with you. I have nothing left to you. The tank is empty. I'm fucking done with you.
Well, I think you and I are speaking the same language, and I think Ryan probably agrees
Yeah.
too. I'm
I
the
do.
same way. If you don't take reasonable steps, there are consequences for shitty
Yeah.
choices. I'm sorry. It sucks to be you.
I did it as a parent. Why wouldn't I do it as a security professional?
Right.
I mean, when you put the gun in your mouth and pull the fucking trigger, you die. Sorry. I mean, I don't want to see
This
that
is
happen.
this
but
is why,
would you do that?
guys. What do I tell people all the time? The goal is legal defensibility and insurability. And both of those things require doing a certain level of things to a certain level of standard to ensure you haven't been negligent. And I think we need to read. Good God, did y'all hear that? Because Charlie just literally shit his britches. Like,
That was it. What the hell was that?
Sound like a rooster.
Charlie shitting his britches. He is thoroughly soiled his sweatpants.
Was that a rooster?
No, but he is a dick.
Damn.
But no, it goes back. It goes back to the basic foundation, fundamental stuff, and I think we already have everything in place to address these concerns. So I'll go all the way back to digital world, analog human incompatibility. We keep running into this because we don't take it serious, and we don't take it serious because we don't think it actually affects our day-to-day life. And there is always that human element, right? Even things within our physical realm, there's that video of the guy with the Roman candle in his butt, right? That dude, we can't save him. There's no helping that guy, right? we gotta let that one go.
It is funny
Sorry,
to watch,
pal.
though.
It was, and I don't know why he thought it was a good idea, but so there will always be that element of a percentage point that just can't be saved. But I genuinely believe, and I'll beat this drum until I'm done doing this game. Humans don't care, not because they don't care. They don't care because there's an actual disconnect in the way that their mind is processing the risk.
Well, so like I had a discussion, with my mother, believe it or
Talk
not.
about that for a sec. I need to go pee, and I need
I
more
was-
alcohol. I need more water.
I was sort of spoiled as a kid growing up, right? In my teen years. And it wasn't until I was like maybe 30 years old where I realized that actually set me back. And I had a discussion with my mom. I said, all those times you gave me things, you bailed me out, because I'd gone to jail, numerous times for different things. I had my first felony at the age of 14. Didn't really have any consequences for that. And it wasn't until, life got hard later on. And I told my mom, I think you set me back. The way you raised me set me back 15 years. And I don't want you to feel guilty about that because you did the best job you could. And I love you. And, the reason why I have to tell you, I have to get it off my chest for one, it's because you gave me things. I didn't earn things. When I earn something, it means something more to me. I protect it more. When I pay the consequences, the last 2 times I went to jail, I had to bail myself out, right? There was nobody there. And then I realized, like, holy shit. And it took those things for me to make life changes. And I think we need to do the same thing with, and I do the same thing with my kids. I never bought my kids, when I was a kid, my parents didn't buy me one car. My parents ended up buying me 4 cars because I totaled the first 3. Right? My kids, I never bought them a car. I said, I'm not buying you a car. You want a car, you earn it. Go get a job, buy the car. That way you'll value it. That way you'll understand what hard work means. And when you destroy your car, you'll have to buy a new one. And if you do make shitty life choices and end up in jail, you know that I'm not answering the phone. But it's that same kind of attitude that, oh, my kids grew up 1,000 times better than me. And I
Yeah.
think the same thing applies to, people are people. Same thing applies in business.
I agree. I think, the problem is, and I go back to it, it's not real yet. Now, the insurance industry is starting to feel like it's real, and they're starting to change. And I think that will have some downstream impact. But honestly, until people realize that they live a primarily digital life first and a physical life second.
Well, how will they realize that though? They'll only realize that when they feel the pain.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I hate that it's true, but Chris isn't wrong. We're gonna need a quarter or 2 of bodies to.
But what I do want to do is, what I want is, rather than it happening en masse, meaning rather than 35% of the people getting wiped out in one fell swoop, why not onesie twosie, let us cull our own herd so that everybody else doesn't have to pay for it, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No, hey, I'm all for it, man. Seriously.
Because we human beings have this herd mentality, right? That's where FOMO comes from, the fear of missing out. That's where it motivates so many different things. Capitalizing on that same sort of herd mentality to, oh shit, that dude over there just got his ass handed to him because he talked smack to that big dude at the bar. Maybe I shouldn't go talk shit to the dude at the bar because I'm gonna get my ass handed to me too. You know what I mean?
Well, I think people like to be led. That's a proven fact. And our leaders aren't leading in this space. I don't think
Biden's the
any of
answer?
this is hard. No, I don't think any of this is hard. I think it has not been a focus because it's still fucking magic. It's a toy.
I got one other. I'm going to inject
So,
you.
because the human species, for as much as it claims it wants freedom, has shown consistently throughout history that it likes subjugation.
I'll give one other thing for you. How many people in our industry are just going through the motions?
70.
All right.
70%.
A lot.
Yeah. If you don't care in this industry, nothing's going to change.
It's funny you mentioned that. I got into almost a shouting match in an executive meeting with a CISO. So this is a big partner of Security Studio. It's their CISO and their president, me and the other president. And the CISO, it was so obvious that he was just going through the motions. And so I said to him, and I'm not going to call him out. I should, but I'm not. I'm like, you suck at your job because you don't feel the fucking weight.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I said, the decisions you make affect other people. That data in your data center, not your fucking data. And the fact that you don't feel the weight of your decisions means that you cut corners, you do shit that puts them at risk, and you need to fucking quit your job today. Put in your 2 weeks and get the fuck out of here.
Right.
And that I didn't get invited back.
But
That happens.
But that's where I'm sitting at. And so, perfect example, I'm I'm a little frustrated on a few things. You know, I come back from 2 weeks away where I bust nuts to go East Coast back to West Coast and a bunch of other stuff. I come back here and shit's not where it needs to be. Shit's not where it needs to be in the house because people haven't turned up, people haven't chased, people haven't done shut. I look at the stuff we're doing with Dave. Shit's not where it is because people haven't gotten off their fucking asses and chased. People have just expected others to chase. Stuff hasn't happened. Stuff hasn't moved as fast as I wanted it to. Stuff hasn't happened because people haven't fucking picked up and said, hey, I own this. I will deal with this. I look at other things and it's the same thing. And I'm sitting there today and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How many of you are just going through the motions? How many of you are just doing it in it for the fucking paycheck as opposed to fucking wanting to care about change, effect change, and actually make a fucking difference? That is where a huge amount of the problems are.
I agree with that. I like when you preach it, brother.
Yeah, get some.
But it's where it is. And I mean, I was sitting there today and I'm like, I'm looking at a lot of the shit that's going on. I'm like, take fucking ownership of something and see it through.
That's hard work, Chris. No, that's hard work. That's
I know.
accountability. That's commitment and drive and sacrifice. That's, you know, those things that is, I think, the solidifying qualities that make the three of us connect the way we do.
Right. Well, and my 16-year-old daughter, she just started her.
She was not terrible, and I do appreciate the couple times when you were like, "Oh hell no." There was a couple times on the trip. Evan's like, "Sweetie, we should talk."
Yeah, and I'm not, and I don't mince words too much, you know, with that stuff. I took her aside, and I understand people will be offended, but she was treating her mother poorly and treating others poorly. So I took her aside. You don't do this stuff in front of people, right? You do this stuff in private. I don't want you to be embarrassed, but I am going to take you aside and I'm going to tell you you're being a bitch. I know you're not a bitch. You're a beautiful human being. I know your heart. I know you. This is not you.
No, but your behavior.
When you act like this is what you get for that. But yeah, it was, but the thing is with her, and you know, moms are different, you know, but she didn't have any consequences for not getting a job. Mom kept giving her money. She never came to me asking for money because you know better than that. Plus, I don't have money anyway. Mom has all the money. So, but it came to this point where it's like, man, what kind of kid are we raising? You know, a couple of years, she's going to be an adult. And what kind of responsibilities will she embrace? And so we cut her off. You know, it's like, you know, we're not buying anything for you anymore. You know, you have to go out and get your job and support yourself. But it's that same, I mean, you take that same sort of thing to security. It I think a lot of times too, we dance around the issues. We don't call it out the way we see it. You know, some CISOs I work with appreciate that. They appreciate that when you talk to me, I'm going to tell you my opinion, man. And if I have facts, I'll back it up with facts. But your shit sucks, or your shit is great. I love how you're doing this and doing that. I don't think we do enough of that straight talk either, because we're afraid we're going to lose the deal.
We don't. And I know this because on my LinkedIn, everybody's like, wow, you're so straight talking. And when I talk at conferences, when we have conversations, like, wow, am I really the only fucking one standing up and actually saying the emperor's got no fucking clothes? Because if I am, we got bigger problems. Either I'm wrong and everybody else is right, or everybody else is living in a fucking dream. And that's,
dreams are awesome. Dreams are awesome.
They're easier. Holy shit, they're way easier. Good grief alive, they're easier.
Dude, I had such a sweet dream last night. My wife, I went to bed earlier than my wife did, and she came into bed like 11:30, and she wakes me up because I guess I was moving around in the bed and whatever. She's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck? I was just in the middle of a prison fight. What the fuck it was crazy. It was legitimate prison fight, and I was kicking
Holy
ass, and that's what I was
shit.
doing in bed. Yeah,
We have different dreams, Evan.
I know.
Oh my, I woke up, I napped. We're still getting over this drive back and forth. And it was yesterday afternoon. I was in the middle of something and I'm like, all right, I'm done for 30, 45 minutes. And I actually laid down on the sofa next to the lab and I napped. And Jen came down because we need to take the trailer and to get a couple of things sorted out. And like, hey, I woke up. I didn't know where I was. I actually had to sit there and pause and think and literally go, where am I? Who am I? What am I doing? I had to piece everything together for like a couple of minutes before I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing. It was like one of those, it was just like one of those moments. It's like, holy shit, too much movement, too much going on.
Well, and you've also got scars, man, that none of us have, in some of the things you've seen over the years too. That's tough shit.
Well, Jen will not wake me up. If she does, she will do it at the feet. She will not wake me up at the upper hand or the torso or anything else. She's realized, and my daughter is the same way. They won't wake me up because unfortunately, a few times I've woken up in fight or flight mode and it's never flight. Yeah. So I try to be very careful and they're very, very good about it. So yeah, they wake me up from a distance.
Speaking of sleep, I'm pretty beat. It's been a long day of travel. We're a little bit early. I've loved this conversation. You guys feel free to keep going.
You look funny because your eyes are like this.
That's because I'm fucking tired. I'm tired, man. I work hard.
I don't know what you're doing right now. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's in that. I don't know who you are, where you are, but go away, leave me alone.
I will.
I still got like 4 hours of work today.
Who worked for 4 hours?
Me.
You? I put in more.
No, I got 4 more hours of work to do.
Oh,
well, I got 4 more left.
I have to sleep because unlike you, I can't do that. I need a nap here and there. But I will leave you with this. This is your safety tip of the week. And next week, I will tell you the dive story after I tell my friends who have not heard it. But this is your safety tip of the week. Put it in your mouth and don't stop breathing. We're going to have a good time.
What the fuck happened? Oh my God. That's crazy. We are going to have that conversation because apparently while you were doing your crazy dives, I actually got to go hang out on the bottom of the lake a few times.
I hung out on the bottom of the ocean, but I'll tell you more about that next week. But remember,
God, you guys are crazy.
And this is just good advice all around. Put it in your mouth, don't stop breathing, and have a good time.
Oh God.
I don't know. Just don't stop breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like tip number 1 to a good time.
There are lots of things I'm not putting in this mouth.
Oh dear. I love you guys.
Gentlemen, I love you both immensely. It has been a blast. I look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Totally. Go get some rest. Everybody listening.
Rest up. I gotta work in the morning and then a day of adventure with the friends tomorrow. We got the last member of the Honey Badger, because we call our group the Honey Badger crew because we don't give no fucks. So last members arriving tomorrow, and we're gonna go out, have a little fun together, and I'll be back in Minnesota for a couple days next week, and I'm off to go see about creating new entrepreneurship opportunities for our underserved communities.
Nice. Well, enjoy. Take care. Have fun. We'll catch up definitely.
Yeah. Love you guys. Have a great night.
This week I'm job hunting. This coming week and next week I'm job hunting, or I'm going to figure out what the hell to do with HHS. One or either or both.
I go with both.
Yeah, me too.
All right, boys. Love you. Holler at you soon.
Love you guys.